David disappeared from his apartment. All of his things were gone, but there was food cooking on the stove. I waited there all night for him, and then I went to look for him at work, and he wasn't there either.
This Beller is a drifter. I tried to tell you that, Gail, but you wouldn't listen. Obviously, he got what he wanted and moved on.
I know him. He wouldn't do that.
What are you saying?
That you're a very important man, Mr. Jordan. You didn't like my seeing him, and I think you had something to do with this.
You know, Gail, you haven't spent much time in Jordantown since you were a little girl. And now that your father passed away...
I don't see what all this has to do with David.
It's just that I'm afraid you might think there's not much for you here. This could be your home. I want you to understand that. There are people here who care a great deal about you.
David cared about... He cares about me.
I don't want to hurt you, Gail. I hoped I wouldn't have to say this, but he wasn't very interested in you, not really. I thought maybe I was wrong about David, so I put him to the test. I offered him a few dollars to leave town, and he took it, gladly.
How dare you?
I couldn't let you make such an obvious mistake.
Who are you to interfere in my life like that? You have no right.
I do have a right! I helped support your father for years. I put you through school. Gail, I have always loved you.
The minute that I get settled, and it'll be somewhere far away from here, I'll pay you back. I never want to see you again.
You're not leaving Jordantown. You're not leaving me.
The hell I'm not. Get out of my way. Tell them to get out of my way.
The sooner you stop fighting me, the easier it will be.
You're hurting me. Let me go. Stop.
Save yourself a trip upstairs. Gail isn't in.
Do you know where she is?
My tenants don't tell me where they go, and I don't ask them.
Did you see where she went?
I don't spy on my tenants. I'm not like that.
But have you seen her?
No, and I don't expect to.
What do you mean?
Well, it's not my place to say. If there's something she wanted you to know, I suppose she'd tell you.
Please, this is very important.
Well, I don't know very much, just what I see in passing. A couple of guys came and picked up all her things.
What did they say?
Well, they said she was going away, but she wanted to keep the place. They had her key and a note. They said they'd pay the next month's rent when it came due. And I doubt that.
Why?
Well, I went in her room. Just to see if the lights were out. Those two guys took everything she had. At least to all appearances. She isn't coming back.
I told you on the phone, Mr. McGee, I've got nothing to say to you.
Well, you can hardly ignore the damage.
Watch me.
How come on a dozen men must have seen the Hulk?
I didn't see anything.
What are you doing? You stonewalling? You trying to protect somebody on this?
Look, don't railroad me, Mr. McGee, and don't go around making up a story out of thin air.
Yeah. If you're so anxious to stick to the truth, why don't you try to help me here?
You're a reporter. That means publicity Mr. Jordan don't like either. You think I'm gonna risk my butt just so you can get a story? You gonna give me a job if I lose this one? Sure you will. Sure.
There's no reason for you to lose your job over this.
Well, if Mr. Jordan says so, I'll believe that. If you want me to talk, you see Mr. Jordan first.
Okay, now, who is this Mr. Jordan?
For a reporter, you're real observant. He owns a company. He owns a town. He owns a valley. I ain't biting a hand. Let's go.
Officer, her name is Gail Weber, and I think she's in some kind of trouble.
Gail Weber. Who is this?
David Beller and I work for the Jordan Lumber Company. I'm a friend of Gail's. I've been threatened because I've been seeing her, and now she's disappeared.
Listen, Mr. Beller, you'd do better to mind your own business.
Officer, this is my business. She could be hurt.
Don't worry about her. You just worry about yourself.
George? George! George, it's me, David.
Let go, man. You'll put me in the soup.
George, what the hell is going on?
I said let go. David. David, you better just get out of here. Word is out, and you ain't welcome.
That girl that I was with the other day, Gail Weber. You know her, don't you?
David, it don't matter.
George, I need to know what you know. She's disappeared.
Look, David, there's a man who's crazy about her. A man that you don't mess with in this town. She's probably at his place.
Who is he?
Ellis Jordan. See, he's always cared about her. It's just that in the last year or so, since his wife died, he's gotten weird. He keeps to himself, he hired bodyguards, and they don't mind busting heads. There's nothing you can do about it.
There has to be. He's kidnapped her and he could hurt her.
Look, Jordan owns this town and damn near everyone in it, police included. Forget it, David. Look, David, there's a man who's crazy about her. A man that you don't mess with in this town. She's probably at his place. There's nothing you can do about it.
There has to be. He's kidnapped her and he could hurt her. He's kidnapped her and he could hurt her.
Would it scare you terribly if I said I thought I was falling in love?
A little, yeah.
I know you told me that you might have to leave any time.
Not because of you.
Well, then I'll tell you. I'm falling in love.
So am I, Gail. So am I.